Hi, 6th grade. So this is my last video for the week. I know in the previous video I said there was only going to be two, but I needed to break up this section a bit, otherwise it was going to be too much for one video. So we are going to learn in this video how to write the compound with like our letters and numbers instead of writing the full name out. So with this one, we don't need to worry about whether the compound is binary ionic or binary molecular. We're just going to write it out no matter what. So this time we're going to write down the formula instead of the full name like it is here. So instead of writing this out like that sulfur trichloride, we are going to write it out with the symbols and the number for our prefixes here. So first, we need to think of what the symbol is for sulfur, and then what number does tri mean? We are going to write this as a subscript, the number that is below the letter behind our chloride here. So we're going to do some examples, but this is, I think, a lot easier than doing writing the full name out. But something that you just need to keep in mind is if you have a prefix in front of one of these elements, that this number is going to go behind the element, and you will see why we have to do it this way when we get into learning how to balance chemical equations. Because if you put it in front, it means something completely different than if you were to put it as a subscript behind. So our first example, we have sulfur trichloride. So think of what the symbol is for sulfur. So for sulfur, it's S. And then chloride, that's chlorine. So you need to find chlorine, and chlorine is Cl. And then, based on that, you need to think of what tri is as a number. So tri is 3. So how you're going to write this down is it's going to be S, and then you need to put, for chloride, Cl, and then that tri is going to go as a number kind of below it, our subscript, so 3. SCl3. That is sulfur trichloride. So we're just going to do some practice here. So we have carbon, so think of what carbon is, and then monoxide, so oxide is oxygen, and you have to think about what mono means. So something a little bit different is if you have mono, and mono means 1, when you write it down, you don't have to put 1 as a subscript, because if you just write like O down, I'm going to assume that there's at least 1 oxygen, so you don't need to write a 1 down there. So carbon monoxide, carbon is C, and oxide, oxygen, is O. And see, there's no subscript down there, so we just have CO. That is carbon monoxide. We have dibromine trioxide. So we have bromine here. So you need to think of what bromine is, and bromine is Br, so we are going to have Br, and then we have this prefix in front of it. So what number does di mean? Well, di means 2, so for dibromine, we need to have Br2 as a subscript, Br2. So dibromine, and then trioxide. So oxide is oxygen, so that's going to be an O. And then tri is 3, so our trioxide is going to be O3. So it's Br2O3, dibromine trioxide. We have chlorine tetrafluoride. So chlorine is Cl, so that's all we need for that. Then tetrafluoride, tetra is 4, fluoride is fluorine, so that's F. So tetrafluoride, that would be F4. So we have ClF4. Next we have dinitrogen pentoxide. So nitrogen is N, di is 2. So for dinitrogen, we are going to have N2, and pentoxide, we have oxide, oxygen, so we have O, and then pent, or penta, is 5. So pentoxide is going to be O5, N2O5. We have nitrogen pentafluoride, so nitrogen is just going to be the symbol, so nitrogen is N. Pentafluoride, so fluoride is fluorine, so we're going to have F. And then penta, like we just said in the previous slide, is 5, so it's going to be F5. So we have NF5. So just as a quick review of over the previous video and this one, what is the difference between a binary ionic compound and a binary molecular compound? Well, remember, binary ionic, it's going to be between one metal and one nonmetal. So you need to keep that in mind when you are looking at how to name them, like the full name, not just the symbols and the numbers. Binary molecular is between two nonmetals. And remember how we determine whether it's a metal or non-metal. You can look at your periodic table in the little staircase here. So anything to the right, the left of our staircase, and it's going to look like your right, but it's my left, is going to be a non-metal, including hydrogen. Then anything to the other side is a metal, not including hydrogen. So looking at this compound, we have NaCl. What kind of compound is that going to be? So we need to look at a periodic table. So straight away, we have Na. Na is a metal, and Cl is a nonmetal. So this would be a binary ionic compound. And that's it for this part of it. I'm going to have you complete another Google form over naming compounds. It's called Naming Compounds 2 Symbols. So what I want you to note on here, I can't do the subscripts on the Google form. So you're going to see that the subscripts are actually like a full number here. Please know that they're supposed to be like C101 when you are answering it. I know it might be a bit confusing, but if you get a poor score on it, then definitely redo it again. Just try to keep it in mind when you see these numbers here, those are subscripts. Alright, so that's it for this video. We will talk about this more in our Google Hangouts. I'll see you guys then. Bye.